Good luck, sister.
Dorothy. All right, honey, get it out of your system. Let's have a great big flood of tears. You know what they told me in there? They said if you paid the store for what I took, maybe I wouldn't have had to serve time. You know how much it was, Dor. I didn't have the money. I'm not blaming you, Johnny. I'm going to take care of you now and do all the things I should have taken time to do before. You mean if there's a next time, you'll have the money? I'll have the money, but there won't be a next time. This all yours, June? Mm-hmm. Legally, I mean? All mine. Come on, climb in. I wish the dames in there could see what a big success my sister is. Let's get out of here.
Dorothy Lyons, first arrested for petty theft, placed in custody of Sister June. 2 years later, arrested for shoplifting, 6 months, paroled. 2 years ago, arrested for jewelry theft. Sentenced 3 to 5 years, served 18 months. Will be released because of ill health next Tuesday. Today.
She'll be on parole, won't she?
For 3 years.
Thanks, Dave. I'll see you later.
Oh, just a minute, Ben. Forgot to tell me why you're so interested in this girl.
I'm building a library. Kind of a who's who.
For, Sally Casper?
No, who's who for Ben Grace.
Why, Ben?
I got an idea. Quite an idea.
Like to tell me about it?
You'll hear about it soon enough.
You're a dreamer, Ben.
Man's only as big as he's dreamed.
We're gonna pull you out of the river someday.
That's not part of the dream. But by the way, did you ever dream of being chief of police?
A long time ago, lots of times.
Maybe I'll make you chief of police.
You got an in with the mayor?
Depends on which mayor you're talking about.
Oh, Ben. This dame. She's dynamite.
Yeah. Thanks again.
Here we are, home at last. Home, huh? This is where you live. That's right. Now it's your home, too. You must be quite a secretary. To a very successful man. A bachelor? Well, as it happens, Mr. Jansen is a bachelor. Oh, Martha.
I saw you drive up.
This is my sister, Dorothy.
How do you do, Miss Dorothy?
Hi. The flowers are lovely.
Mr. Jansen's chauffeur brought them over. No card.
Any messages?
No, just the mail and the paper.
Join me? No thanks, honey. Not right now. June? Mm-hmm. What are you going to tell people while I'm staying here with you? That you're my sister. And that I popped up from under a cabbage leaf. Nobody knows anything about you. And nobody will know anything about you. And my probation officer? That is all confidential. Where I come from, you'll learn to figure all the angles. Hey. Who's this? That is my boss, Frank Jansen. He gave it to me a year ago. You going to marry him, Junie, or... Do you think I should? I think it's a very good idea. The bathroom towels will look sensational. Jay. When I want a new monogram, I'll let Frank Jansen know. Don't you want to shower and see your room? Hot water, soap, clean sheets. Come on, sweetie, I'll show it to you. You know where I was yesterday at this time? In a sewing room with 600 dames making denim uniforms. Let's not talk about that ever again. You're here now, and you're starting a new life, and neither of us has a worry in the world.
Hi, Ben. Solly's watching television.
Thanks.
It's about time you showed up. Solly's been asking for you. So I'm here. This Marlowe's getting rough.
Now, I've published a newspaper in Bay City for 30 years, and never have I used its columns for a crusade that I thought was more important than the one to elect Frank Jansen mayor. Obviously, the city government is rotten, corrupt, evil. Well, everyone in City Hall knows who actually is running our city. Saul Casper. And when Saul Casper doesn't steal, he bribes. And when he doesn't bribe, he murders. For 15 years, his syndicate of vice has grown and grown and grown because the men elected to protect you from crime have been on Saul Casper's payroll. I urge you, I beg you.
Saul?
Use
How does Marlowe get away with that?
Shut up, I want to hear this.
to elect a man who's never been in politics. A man who is free from ties to politicians and gangsters. A man who will clean up Bay City. Ladies and gentlemen, vote for Frank Jansen for mayor.
Ah, Ben. Mind anything else?
Who deals with him?
Glad to see you, genius. That Marlowe is a rough old man. You must have a file this thick on Jansen's girlfriend.
I got a file, Sally.
And I knocked the Boy Scout right out of the box. I told you there was a way to get to anybody. And the way to get to a reformer is to prove that he's not such a lily-white angel himself.
That figures.
Oh, what do we use, genius? Pictures of him, tapes, checks he wrote?
I got a file on Jansen's girlfriend. All it proves is that they're both clean as a whistle.
You've been working on him a week.
She's clean, she's clean. I can't help it if Jensen's too smart to leave any tracks.
Oh, this is great. This is fine news to get at 10 o'clock Tuesday night, a week before election. Do you know what happens to bright boys like you and us if Jansen gets in? You can take all your fancy gimmicks and your camera rifle and you can A dame is a dame. There's bound to be something you can nail her on.
I couldn't get one picture of June Lyons.
You mean you didn't even get a picture of her coming out of his house at 2 in the morning? What kind of a secretary is she?
Probably a nice secretary. Maybe a nice girl. If you want to nail Jensen, you better try something else. Something good.
You may be right, genius. If I can't get the girl alongside Jensen, I'll get the guy behind him.
Marlowe?
Marlowe. Without the journal, nobody'd ever have known about Frank Jensen.
I'd advise you to take it easy where Marlowe's concerned.
You'd advise me. I'm gonna take care of Marlowe tonight. And you're coming with me.
Sally. Count me out.
What's the matter? Rough stuff not in your line or something? It scare you, genius?
No, it doesn't scare me. I don't believe in it. If you're smart, you don't have to use it.
So I'm not smart. You're a bright boy, genius. And I'm glad to have you working for me. But do you know why you'll always be working for me and not vice versa?
Why, Sally?
An operator, he runs things. Up, down, sideways, rain or shine, he runs it. You got no jet engine in your belly that makes you operate. You'd rather read a couple of good books, wouldn't you, Charles? Wait, I'll show you something. Leonard, all you fellas, come in here. Boys, I called you in here to give you a demonstration of how I'm going to operate on Mr. Norman B. Marlowe. Genius, you're just a chiseler out for a soft buck. You're not crooked and you're not straight. You take what you can get where you can get it, but you don't want any trouble. You'll die at age 66 in bed with $3 grand in the bank, but you'll never be an operator. Now go on out and get yourself some fresh air, but don't let it go to your head. Remind me never to send my son to college. That is, if I ever have a son.
Sure, Jansen's honest. Even if he gets elected, so what? You don't understand politics. In 6 months, they'll have him tied up, too. I've seen him come and go. Wyatt, this town will be so lily white, you'll be able to eat your dinner off the pavement yet.
Hello, Miss June Lyons.
Yes?
Listen carefully to what I have to say. Sally Casper's going to take care of Norman Marlowe tonight. Call Jensen. Tell him to warn him. Better still, warn him yourself. Don't lose a minute.
Who is this?
A friend.
Why don't you tell him yourself? Who are you? Hello? Hello?
Who's that?
Nothing, honey. Go back to sleep.
I thought I heard a man's voice.
Probably just some political crank trying to cause trouble.
Why didn't you get his number? I wish you had.
The men elected to protect you from crime have been on Saul Casper's payroll. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you for working so late, and good night.
Mr. Marlowe. Good night, Mr. Marlowe.
Just a little talk, Marlowe.
Casper. You. Well, now, we can discuss anything tomorrow. I'm a sick man. My doctor's just warned me.
You talk about me whenever you want to. I'm talking to you now.
You can't frighten me. You can't stop me.
You're going to stop backing Jansen. You're going to stop printing all that stuff about me.
I'm going to print all the truth about your vicious evil.
Rich boy, you're going to stop. Or you'll get a working over like those newspaper guys in Scenic City. Now we talk. Listen to me. Get some water.
He looks like he's dead.
Don't make a federal case out of it. Get some water.
It's too late for water. You killed him.
You sure? Guess I did at that, didn't I? Well, that's getting out of a jam the hard way. Open the window. Give him some air. Give him plenty of that. Come on, let's see if we can beat him down.
I was half asleep. I looked at the clock a little before 2. I thought about calling you, Frank, but, well, who takes a phone call seriously at that hour? Now this horrible murder.
Phone call in the middle of the night doesn't prove murder, Miss Lyons.
Well, it's just too much of a coincidence.
Lieutenant, you don't seem to be very anxious to dig into this. What else could it be but a murder?
Mr. Marlowe was your friend. He was backing you. Of course, you're going to jump to conclusions. Me, I take it a little easier. I don't mess around with politics or politicians. And that's how I've lasted 22 years in the department. Thanks, Miss Lyons. I know how to reach you.
Are you sure you didn't recognize the voice? Could it have been someone from the office?
Maybe if I heard it again, I'd recognize it. I'm sorry, Frank, but it all seems so fantastic.
Don't blame yourself, June. You probably couldn't have done anything about it anyway.
Thanks.
I've got to get downtown.
I'm glad you were here with me anyhow.
See you this afternoon.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Lieutenant.
You know, I don't think that policeman believed a word I said.
They never believe anybody. Come on, let's get some sun.
Yes?
Good morning, Miss Lyons. Remember me?
No, can't say that I do.
The name's Ben Grace.
What do you want?
I want Frank Jensen for mayor.
Oh, come in.
Nice looking place you have here.
Thank you.
Nice looking girl.
Supposing you tell me why you're here.
All right, Miss Lyons, I'll get to the point. Last night I telephoned you about Marlowe.
You?
I wouldn't bother. I waited till they drove away.
How did you know he...
I knew. That's enough.
But...
Mr. Jensen is a nice man. But he doesn't know how to win elections. I'm not a very nice man. I know how. It takes a little dirt.
And you have dirt to sell?
I have dirt to sell.
What do you want for it? Money?
Not a penny.
What then?
Oh, decency. Clean government. Frank Jensen for mayor. Jensen's an idealist. You're a practical girl. He needs you, and you've made him pay for it. Oh, that's all right. I don't trust people who are not a little greedy.
What do you want to tell me?
Did you know Marlo?
Yes.
Sit down. Listen.
You're going to stop backing Jansen. You're going to stop printing all that stuff about me.
I'm going to print all the truth about your vicious evil.
Listen to me. Get some water.
It's too late for water. You killed him.
Where did you get this, Mr. Grace?
It's not a question of where I got it. It's what you and Jensen are going to do with it.
I don't buy your bill of goods. Who sent you to me? Saul Casper himself?
I assure you this is genuine. All I can do is give you a gun. If you haven't got guts enough to pull the trigger, I can't help it.
No do tonight, Mr. Grace. I don't like your brand. It's too cheap. It smells like some kind of trick. You probably invented it for some...
There's too much to invent. For instance, there's your sister out there. Her first arrest was for petty larceny. Then 2 years later, the rap was for shoplifting. And then...
Get out of this house!
Now do you believe me?
I don't like blackmail. I said get out and I mean it.
I'm in the book. Name is Ben Grace, G-R-A-C-E.
I'll let Mr. Jansen decide if he needs you. But I assure you, my sister and I...
Somebody talking about me? I'd much rather do the talking for myself.
Goodbye, Mr. Grace.
How do you do, Mr. Grace? Meet Junie's little sister, Dorothy.
Hello, Miss Lyons.
Please call me Dora, won't you? Frank and open door.
Dorothy, Mr. Grace is very late.
Hey, I love that material. I love the feel of it.
I'll wear it the next time I see you.
Oh, you don't have to put it on just for me.
Your sister's a nice girl.
And she's going to stay that way.
Remember, the number's Exbrook 36567.
Exbrook 36567.
You got it.
You tired too?
Not too much, honey. I guess I just have an awful lot on my mind.
A lovely girl like you. You shouldn't have to worry about a thing, except looking beautiful. And running a home for a man who loves you.
Thank you.
I guess I could have timed this a bit better. To set up a more romantic atmosphere. Fiddles playing off stage, bongo drums and all that sort of thing. But really, why don't we get married and stop all this foolishness?
Oh, Frank, not now. Not right away. Will you hold the offer open for a while?
In other words, no?
No, I don't mean no. I just can't think about it right now. I want to get Dorothy settled in
Preferably someplace away from here, where she might not embarrass her prominent brother-in-law.
You've known about her?
What difference does it make? I want to marry you because I love you. She has nothing to do with it. So if that's the only reason, there's no reason at all anymore. I know there isn't another man.
No, of course not. I come in?
The door's open.